Greetings, everyone. My name is Father Sebastiaan. I am the host and author of Black Veils. This is Black Veils right here. You can get it at vamporium.shop. It is a book about vampire lifestyle and culture. And today we're going to do a class on an annex class, which expands upon the book on lucid dreaming. So lucid dreaming is something that is practiced in the vampire world. It is a prelude to astral projection. It is a jumping off point. It's a training ground. It's training wheels. And we're going to go pretty into basic lucid dreaming, introduce it, talk about the concepts. I want to thank Johanna Moresco of the Crew Shadows and Jax Halo and Victor Magnus, my longtime mentor and companion through life. Not what you think, to be my aides and guides in this adventure. So what we're going to talk about today is something that's mystical and psychological. When I did my research on lucid dreaming to expand this course outside of the standard teachings of the vampire community, one of the things I noticed is you have lucid dreaming in almost every paradigm. You have it in born-again Christians do angel lucid dreaming. You have atheists do it. You have everybody. But from a vampiric perspective, lucid dreaming is a very powerful tool, and it is something that we've done a lot of research on. And a lot of the older vampire orders from the 90s and the 80s do a lot of research on astral projection and lucid dreaming as the prelude to kind of get you going. So I had a lot of great coaching over the years on lucid dreaming. I am a natural lucid dreamer. I am currently learning the skills to develop lucid dreaming as a skill set, not just a random experience that I just wake up in a dream. So thank you, Victor, and thank you, Johanna. So let's get into the meat and bones of this. So it's a mystical and psychological practice. The term lucid dream was coined by the Dutch author and psychiatrist Frederick von Eden in his 1913 article, A Study of Dreams. There are two types of lucid dreams. There's DILD, a dream-initiated lucid dream, something which dream triggers a dreamer to understand they are dreaming. You basically wake up inside the dream. And then there's the wake-initiated lucid dream, or WILD, where the dreamer moves from a waking state into a dream state with no loss of awareness. Van Eden created the names for several different types of dreams he experienced based on the data he collected. The initial dreams, pathological dreams, ordinary dreams, vivid dreams, demonical dreams, dream sensations, and lucid dreams. Von Eden studied his own dreams between January 1898 and December 26, 1912. He said the seventh type, lucid dreaming, is the most interesting and worthy of the most careful observation and study. Aristotle said that often when one is asleep, there is something in consciousness which declares that that when presents itself is more than a dream. So we have a very important thing. From the vampire perspective, everything is a dream. The physical world, the spirit world, it's all a dream in just different levels of tangibility. And it's really important to be aware that the presentation we have today is just the basics and introduction to lucid dreaming. Then we're going to go into a discussion of lucid dreaming, and then I'm going to give a homework exercise where you can go and you can practice your lucid dreaming and the techniques that you've learned here today. The most important thing here is we're going to have a session where we're going to give each person a minute in the class at the end of the presentation to describe or share, as Victor says it, sharing is better than questions, that we're going to discuss the creation of how to awaken within the dream or start before dreaming and go into the dream and share your dream experiences with us. We're not going to be talking about astral projection today. That's next week's class. And remember that one important thing to be aware of is that there's the near astral and far astral. Okay, the astral in your head is a space. Okay, and that's where you dream. okay? But you can actually project through your dream, and OBE, or astral projection, out of body experience, can be launched by using lucid dreaming as a starting point. And it's also the training wheels. So what you can do in the lucid dream world, which is in your head, okay, is you can expand it outside of that. And when you go into astral projection, the skills that you learn in lucid dreaming can be used for astral projection. So let's get into the meat and bones. First of all, astral dreaming is a talent for some, a natural ability for some, but it is a thing you need to practice and rehearse. It is not something that you can master right away unless you're very, very talented with it. Because what's important to be aware of is that just like astral projection, or OBE, out of body experience, lucid dreaming is something that you need to develop. Okay, you might get a little bit of it at first and move on and on and on. There's hundreds of techniques, thousands of abilities. Okay, there's things called, if you've heard of dream yoga or false awakenings, okay, where you wake up, you think you're awake inside of a dream, or you think you're awake, but you're actually dreaming. And that's where a lot of sleepwalking happens. So the most important thing is to do it, to actually keep trying consciously and say to yourself during the day and affirmations, I am going to lucid dream tonight, and I'm going to meet Victor, and we're going to have cheeseburgers. Okay. And the cheeseburger is the focus. That's a focal point. Okay. So the beginning is the meditation. All right. You should meditate at least 5 times a day, focus on your count of your breaths, or use a mantra like in Vedic meditation, which we'll do a class in April on. Another word that you need to be aware of is reality checks. You need to remind yourself that you're in reality. Are you dreaming? Are you awake? Put notes on the fridge or the refrigerator or the microwave or on your car, okay, to remind yourself that you're actually, dreaming. All right. Anytime you see something strange, reality check it. Okay. It's really important because you can lose your mind a little bit if you don't do this right. All right. So what's great about lucid dreaming is you can do anything. You could fly, you could be a superhero, you could, I dreamed that I was a violinist playing for Cruise Shadows, and it was pretty cool. Really? Oh man, man, that dream was awesome. I had a dream I was Victor Magnus giving lectures at NYU and sneaking in the classes with him. You can time travel, you can do all sorts of things. I had dreams that I was in Cancun, Mexico next month, which actually might come true. So usually dreams are very vivid, they're very emotional, and you can do anything. So one of my teachers told me that their lucid dreaming is actually more vivid when they're traveling. So because they're not in their normal habitat, they're in a different place. Okay, and a great technique for a reality check is the tattoo reality check on your hand. If you can't do that, memorize your palm. So techniques, okay, there's many different techniques. There's mild, wild, dialed. Okay, you got to focus on one technique and start with the basic. And one of the most basics is the mild, which is the memory technique. The mind-induced lucid dreaming. Okay, this is the most effective in recent studies in science. There's no timers that rely on like perspective techniques, and you think about your dreams before. You create your dreams beforehand. Okay. Then what you need to do is, a lot of people will spend a lot of time meditating before they do their dreams. They'll decide what they want to dream. They'll put an intent forth. Okay, so an important element of lucid dreaming is to do affirmations during the day. Okay, and that's called ADA, or all day awareness. Focus on awareness and the lucidity, but not at night. Okay, during the day, be in the moment, be present as much as possible. Okay, being lucid and self-aware all the time is really important, even in the day. So for example, if you're commuting to work and you're not paying attention, you're dreaming off, that's kind of the opposite of lucid dreaming, but from the day side world. Remember, the night side of vampirism is the dream world, the spirit world. And we touch it when we dress up and we go to a vampire ball. We touch it when we dress up and do a ritual. Okay, when we're doing astral projection, we're going deep into the night side. The night side is an incredibly vast reality. All right, but remember, it's subjective. Well, the objective reality is the day side world, where we can touch and we can feel and we can interact, and we perceive the night side and the day side through the subjective reality. So it's important to learn what works for you and keep focusing on what your results are. If you get results, focus on it. Okay, and also meditate on what you want to learn. Do you want to learn shape-shifting? Do you want to learn how to fly? Do you want to learn how to connect with your totem animal? Do you want to, like, shape-shifting is a really powerful thing that you can do. You can not pretend, but you can actually become a cat, a wolf, a bat, a raven, a dragon. Okay, you can, go anywhere. You can fly. You can be a superhero. You can have superpowers. And the important thing is to focus on that awareness during the day and what you want to do in your lucid dream. Because once you master it, it's like riding a bike. You can do whatever you want. And remember, you sleep 1/3 of your life. So you can actually practice skills. You can do archery, you can practice your violin, you can practice smoking a pipe, you can read books. Okay. You can actually interact with dream characters, which are actually projections of yourself. And it's fun because last night I was talking to a dream character, and what happened was I asked them I go, do you know I'm dreaming? And they're like, no, you're not dreaming. And I was like, yeah, I'm dreaming, and you're a character in my dream. And it's the same kind of thing of going, Johanna, you're just a figment of my imagination. Victor's not, but you are, Johanna, and you're a dream character. So the physical world, the dayside world, the objective world, if you start daydreaming, that is the opposite of lucid dreaming. Okay. And you can also try to keep track of where you were 10 minutes ago. So I was like, I was on the phone 10 minutes ago, and I was having a conversation with the head of the castle in Tampa and discussing what our plans are for world domination of Vampire World. The next thing you need to do is you need to have motivation. Okay. You cannot learn lucid dreaming in one day. You can begin to practice it, but the thing is that it might take weeks, and it depends on the individual on how far you go into lucid dreaming. Okay, you need to include the motivation techniques in your life, and you need to make them habits. You need to learn what works and doesn't work for you. Stay motivated. While you're trying to learn, focus on the results. When you get a result, keep applying that and growing with that. Affirmations, for example, when Bart Simpson said, I am not a vampire on the board, okay, 100 times, those are motivations. Those are affirmations. Okay. What's important to be aware of is that writing something down, I will lucid dream tonight. I will lucid dream tonight. I will lucid dream tonight, programs your subconsciousness, all right, to be able to begin to control your dreams. It will set up the foundations of your dream experience. All right. And your subconscious will give you input. Remember that your dream experience is set up by your subconscious. And to consciously control it, you need to be in touch with your subconscious. Okay. Your mind will constantly look for affirmations, and your subconscious mind wants your beliefs to match your reality. Now, watching science fiction and playing video games and watching the X-Men or Doctor Who. Yes, I said Doctor Who. Everybody knows I'm Who-phobic, and my friends here are very kind to me by not talking to me about Doctor Who. But Doctor Who is a great example of, or Star Trek, or The Matrix is even a great example of what it's like to be lucid dreaming. But you can actually do more than in the Matrix when you jack in. So X-Men is a great thing. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, Star Wars, you can be a Jedi, you can be a warrior, you can be a Viking, you can change your gender, you can change your appearance, you can become invisible, you can spy on people. And where these things come in is a great imagination can be expressed fully inside of a lucid dream. Now, you got to have expectations, okay? And you constantly do affirmations throughout your life. Constantly affirm yourself. I am going to affirm myself. I am going to affirm myself. Okay, write down and repeat like you did in school. You want to build a perspective memory. Don't expect results the first day, but watch them build as you learn your skills. Okay, lucid dreaming is basically like an acid trip or a DMT trip. Okay, but natural and healthy and without the drugs. All right. Don't buy. Now, one thing that's important is you go on lucid dreaming forums, you learn about lucid dreaming techniques. Okay. Don't be turned off by people saying scary things like, oh my God, I fell into the floor and a dragon came to eat me. Okay. Or Victor got really mad at me and he wouldn't talk to me for a whole week. Or Johanna got attacked by her kitty. What's important to be aware of, yeah, and we're praying for you, Johanna. Glad that you got through that. But the important thing is that what isn't to not be scared of lucid dreaming. You can't get hurt. There's nothing that can go bad. You're going to wake up. It's like, I know a lot of people that have had less nightmares because of lucid dreaming. So what your expectations and your affirmations build is like going to result in your experience of the dream. And basically say to yourself, what do I want? What do I want to experience? What you read, what you watch can influence you. Okay. And also understand that there's people that are telling you scary stories, that's their experience and not your reality. You can define your reality as you see fit. Okay. Lucid dreaming is not dangerous. It's a consensual experience with your subconscious. And it can be, but it can open you to other planes and dimensions, like the far astral. Okay. The far night side. You need to open up and know that it's more than just a dream, because reality is a dream of different levels of tangibility. Okay. Now, there is a technique that you can do to get back into deeper states of or control of lucid dreaming, and that's called the wake back to bed method. Now, it's going to limit your ability to rest. Okay, because you're going to wake up at 3 a.m. So you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night. All right, and you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, and you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Bumping yourself back into lucid dreaming, okay, means that you will do the wake back to bed method. Okay, which basically means that you go from a waking state into a dreaming state right away. There's no transition between falling asleep. It can be kind of creepy at first, but it's pretty freaking cool. So that's the wake back to bed method. You set an alarm for 3 o'clock if you go to bed at 10 o'clock, and you wake up, and then you get a glass of water, and then you go right back to sleep, and it kind of bumps you back into REM sleep. The learning curve, basically what's important to be aware is of what's called a learning curve. It's when you know little or nothing about a topic, okay, and you'll be able to self-correct and become a practitioner in a skill. So for example, in Black Veils, in the initiation veil, we talk about the student, the practitioner, and the mentor. The learning curve to becoming a practitioner in something, Okay, it means you're adept in something. You're very capable of doing something. You can self-correct. You can add to the paradigm or the skill set. All right, so how do you do lucid dreaming? Okay. You want to reduce distractions. You want to avoid blue light, so no phones or emails or TV or anything like that before you go to sleep. I had a really big separation anxiety with my phone last night when I was like, I gotta. So I got a book and I began reading a book. Now, meditating 5 to 10 minutes before you do this with a mantra or a breathing technique, mantras work better for me. And you want to reduce the blue light. You calm your mind with meditation and become aware of your surroundings. Be aware of everything and just prepare your space for your lucid dream. Okay. Now, lucid dreamings evidently sometimes are claimed to make you more tired, but evidently, according to my teachers, there wasn't a lot of that of evidence in that. Okay. Unless you do the wake yourself in the middle of the night. Now, another important thing is dream recall. Okay. Patty says to put a glass of water by the bed, and I'd like to ask her questions about that afterwards. To remember your dreams is really simple. When you first wake up, it's really important to write down your dreams, okay? And get as much detail as you can in your dream diary and keep it by your bed. This requires practice, and every single morning you should write it down. This is the first thing you should do, and set your intentions before you go to bed. I'm going to lucid dream. I'm going to lucid dream, and set your affirmations and your intentions during the day. Okay. So try and repeat. Oh, Mariah. This is a big class today. I'm very happy to see everybody here. Try and repeat as much as possible your affirmations. And over time, you will remember more and more by keeping a dream diary and recalling it. It's practicing memory recall. Now, one of the dangers, a perceived danger, is sleep paralysis. Okay. Sleep paralysis is so when when you're sleeping, you don't whack your partner. Okay. I'm sure that it's actually a very natural and safe thing. So don't worry about it. When you wake up and you're paralyzed, just breathe and let your body come back into being. Okay. It stops you from acting out your dreams while you're sleeping. That's the main reason for sleep paralysis. All right. CB's here. And there's nothing to worry about. Sleep paralysis does not last permanently. And okay, hold on a second. Your dream recall and sleep are really important tools. Always try to record your lucid dreams. Now, what I want to do is I want to have some of you guys tell me some stories about your lucid dreamings and share with you some techniques. Share with the class some techniques if you're open to. Put your idea in the chat, and I'm going to open the floor to Victor and Johanna to provide their wonderful commentary.
Johanna?
So
I gave a lot at the beginning.
well, yeah, no, I was listening to you do your thing. I know a lot of musicians, and I'm not adept at this myself. I would like to be. I know a lot of musicians. Well, I shouldn't say a lot. I know a handful of musicians who have told me that they essentially practice and sometimes even write songs while lucid dreaming. The same areas of your brain that kind of trigger those little finger movements, the same. I don't know if their fingers are necessarily moving while they're asleep, but they are doing the math that goes into music while they sleep, while they lucid dream. And that is fascinating to me. I cannot think of a better way to maximize your time here than to use the time while you're asleep to perfect your craft.
That is awesome because you can practice skills.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. Those same little signals, because when it comes to any kind of motor skill, we're doing fine motor skills all the time. We're walking, we're talking without even thinking. You know, the words that we want to say, it's like they just naturally come out. When you develop the skill of playing an instrument, it's the same way. When you go to walk or do some, other physical thing, you don't think about it. You don't think, okay, I'm going to put my right foot down, heel to toe. You just do it, right? It's the same thing when you play an instrument. And I've had a few musician friends tell me that they use lucid dreaming to essentially practice. And I think that is really, really fascinating. I'm not adept at it myself, but that is a big reason why I would like to be. I also know that for a lot of people, this can be a huge anxiety and stress reliever, because situations that might cause you great anxiety in your real life, you can sort of practice and work through in your dreams. Possibly some of that social dynamic stuff that we've talked about before, where it's, well, how should I handle this or that situation? Oh no, it happened in real life and I didn't quite do it. You can have kind of a do-over in your dream and possibly be more prepared for when it does happen in real life later. So I see it as a very, very practical skill to have.
I actually talked to a friend of mine the other day about this class, and she was like, I'm a black belt, and I did most of my practice in my mind when I was sleeping in my dreams. And I thought that was really interesting to find out. I was like, that is awesome.
Same thing. Essentially, it's those fine motor skills. I also know musicians who have told me that they find great inspiration from their lucid dreaming, not just their regular dreams that happen to them, but their lucid dreaming specifically, and some of those characters that they interact with, like you were talking about before. And so they write song concepts and work out those kinds of things while they're lucid dreaming. And as soon as they wake up, they have their methods for dream recall. They write the thing down, or they talk into the, tape recorder of their phone so that it's not lost.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've been keeping a dream journal for a couple of weeks now, and my recall is getting better and better and better. And I've been practicing doing all sorts of, I've been practicing public speaking. I've been practicing making better fangs. I've been practicing staying out of trouble with Victor. Okay. And
that requires practice for you.
I like getting in trouble. But it's really great because you have all this extra time while your body's resting to practice skills. And I was just like, I lost a third of my life already.
Yeah.
Or at least I can't recall. And another thing that I have, Endo tells me he doesn't dream. And I'm like, you dream, you just don't remember it.
Recall it. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't recall, do dream recall. And so he's going to enjoy this class recording. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
well, unless he has sleep apnea.
Okay.
If Endo has sleep apnea, then he physically has trouble getting into the dream state. So we should ask him if he has that.
Oh, that's a good question.
That could be interesting. Yeah.
So that's a really good question. So Victor, let's hear from you. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, like as I was saying before, there are specific moments when I'm consciously in a dream and I've had the ability to wake up and go back into the dream. One of my recurring ones was zombie attack, where I was isolated, most likely inspired by Night of the Living Dead. And I had the ability to be cornered, wake up, and then without skipping a beat and re-enter the dream and have a shotgun this time. So I've done that many, many times over the years. I also have a problem with dream recall, as I mentioned before. As soon as I wake up, I can sort of remember my dreams. In fact, I feel like my dreams may go on for hours at a time, and I remember that at the moment I wake up. But if you ask me 10 minutes later, that recall is almost all gone. So not something we discussed exactly yet, but I know that there's traveling going on. I'm conscious of it when I wake up, conscious of sort of that has happened, and I feel physically tiredness from it. Um, but my recall disappears. That's one thing I'd love to work on. Never been able to truly get a handle on that. And as far as suggestion, I do that all the time. When I'm stressed and I need to go to sleep, I suggest what I'm going to dream about, or because I do sense that I'm traveling, I think about where I want to go, who I want to see. But that's going to be discussed separately. So I think our physical bodies try to hold us back a lot from being able to achieve a lot we're supposed to do. And that's where these techniques come in. But I know like I said, I've had my issues with them. But, you know, in case there's a zombie attack, believe me, I know how to use that shotgun. So I've learned that technique pretty well in my dreams.
Great. Patty, do you have any words of wisdom for our class today? Since now you're pinned.
Yes. Again, the dream thing helps you dream and it helps you connect. And also if you want a specific answer, set your alarm. If you set an alarm for 10 minutes before you want to get up, when that alarm goes off, you think, oh, I have to get up. But then, oh, no, I don't have to get up. Ask a question or a statement like, what is the meaning of life? Or give me clarity, focus, and direction for today. Go back to sleep. You're kind of still in a different brainwave state. When you wake up in your real alarm in 5 or 10 minutes, you have clarity, focus, and direction, or the answer. And again, I just tell people to just try to write 2 minutes, not anything else. Don't censor yourself. If you don't remember, write a dream or your emotions. If you don't remember your dream, write anything. You'll be surprised what you came out. And if like Victor, you can't write, record it. Somebody just wrote that. That was brilliant. You know, everybody's cell phone is a recording. Just, hey, I just dreamed I was a bear, you know.
I think I lose my ability to communicate verbally and physically the moment I wake up. So
I've seen it.
I'm going to have trouble articulating my dream into my phone.
One of the things a lot of people have trouble with, and especially more advanced vampires, is more adept vampires and magister vampires, is functioning without coffee. You know, there's a side effect of you're drinking coffee late, young lady. There's a side effect of becoming a super powered multiple generation vampires. You need a lot of coffee to survive. And please don't take me seriously. I'm only joking. I'm working on my sense of humor, my glamour humor. But the thing is that I've witnessed Victor waking up, and it's a very difficult time. And you too? Yep. I've shared rooms with you too, Johanna, and it's seeing, yeah, it's like the Thriller in the morning. I've seen Patty in the morning every morning for the last 3 years. And she's Fireball in the morning. Thanks, Jasmine, for the 3 out of 5 on the joke. I just got my joke rating. So,
Sebastian, I have to say, you get up raring to go, and it always annoys the hell out of me.
Yes, he thinks everyone just does that.
well, you know, you just pop out of bed and ready to go. I mean, the day's there. Come on, don't waste any time.
So
Yeah.
one thing that I do with lots of things in my life, I do this probably a couple times a week. I don't know why. I will look up this is going to sound really kind of morbid and sobering, but it motivates me. And that's why I do it. Okay. I will look up basically my expected lifespan And when it comes to certain things, I will calculate how much time approximately I have left in this mortal coil. And I'll say, okay, I only have this or that much time left. I need to get to it. So I calculated approximately how many hours I should sleep that I have remaining left in this lifetime. And that's what I got. That's a lot of sleepy time violin practice I could be doing.
Yes, especially while you're healing.
That's a lot of hours.
You know,
I could be so productive. Think of that, guy.
Tell Artemis that you're going to be busy sleeping, and she'll show up in your dreams.
That's
like, I want attention now, man.
Yeah, she's looking at me.
So one of the things that I mentioned earlier that's really important to be aware of, OBE, or astral projection, out-of-body experience, is very different from lucid dreaming, although the skill sets can be used in both categories. And dream work and dream recall there's a couple techniques. I just learned of a really interesting technique called the black sands. Okay. And what you do is you get an object. I'm going to get this mug. Okay. And you bring it into your dream. And then what you do is you hide it somewhere. And then you tell someone where it could be, and then they can get the goblet and bring it into their dream. And that's called the black sands technique. I just learned that the other day from talking to a couple magister and adept vampires out in the world. And it was really interesting because I tried it and I was able to recover an artifact and tell the person what it was. So I was stealing some dolls from Patty's house. and it was pretty interesting. So that's called black sands. That involves a little bit of astral projection. Now, next week we're going to talk about OBE and astral projection and the emotional similarities between that and being in a lucid dream. A lucid dream is you can create anything in the lucid dream. You can create anything you want. You can fly, you can shapeshift, you can turn into a bat or a wolf or be anywhere or create what did they call it in the they basically, you create NPCs that interact with non-player characters. Okay, and they're called dream people. Okay, and you can have your avatar, you can look like anything you want. You basically have virtual reality on crack. Okay, and you can set that up in the day. And oh, Khaleesi, what are you talking about?
So there's this new show on Netflix. I don't want to give too much away because I'll ruin the whole show, but basically it's got like astral projection and lucid dreaming in it. It's like, I would say that if you're kind of new to it, it could be a good way to pique your interest in it. It's definitely, I was shocked that it was in there, but like someone, like my partner was watching it and he doesn't know too much about astral projection and he was like, what the hell is this? So it's really good. It's called In Her Eyes or Through Her Eyes or something. It's new on Netflix. It looks boring, but it's really, really good. It's really good. It's a really good show.
Is it behind her eyes?
Yes, that one.
Someone told me about this yesterday.
Yeah, it's really good. It definitely, again, I already knew about it, so I already knew, but yeah, my partner doesn't know as much as what I do, and he was definitely interested in it. He was like, whoa. It's got a lot of, it does get a bit on the magical side, but it does, start some questions, so it's definitely worth a watch.
Well, one of the great things about these classes is that we are able to introduce a whole generation of the vampire community into these ideas as normal, everyday things that vampires do. Okay, and it also lets us do it from a vampiric perspective. Now, one of the things that you can do from a vampiric perspective to increase your ability to go into a lucid dream is feed on gathering life force as much as possible and shape it inside the dream. Okay, A lot of psychic vampires and a lot of sanguine vampires focus on their energy deficiency, but a living life force vampire collects energy and learns how to store it. And you can store it in the phylacteries, or you can store it in your body, or you can store it in crystals or various phylacteries, which are objects that you can store life force. Okay, you can even store life force in a story. Okay, creating a story, an urban legend. There's a whole thing. I'm going to do a class on phylacteries in April. But remember the difference between a psychic vampire, a sanguine vampire, and a living vampire. A life force living vampire, spelled with a Y, is what we're teaching here. Okay, Psyvamps and sanguines can, of course, depending on their interest in magical work, and their sensitivity, can do that. But vampiric witchcraft is the practice of, or vampire magic is the practice of these techniques. And when you take life force, excess life force, the whole feeding course, the gathering of life force ethically is in Black Veils, when you take a whole bunch of it and you manage to store it, you can release it and shape it in your dreams, and you can control the dream through shaping the life force, kind of like chaos energy. And what is really important is that is a really good tool and a stepping off point where you can do astral projection from like the lucid dream can be an extra powerful tool for forming a launching pad for astral projection, or OBE. But remember, the difference between OBE and a lucid dream is you are in control of the lucid dream. When you're doing astral projection, you're encountering things like going out in the real world. You're seeing a mirror of the physical world, and that is going to be a complex subject for that class. Now, thank you, Patty. Thank you, Khalees, Victor, and Johanna. I'd like to open up the course to any reflections from anybody. We have a few things in here.
Well, some people wrote things in the comments. If they'd like
Yes.
to say them to us directly, you're very welcome to now.
Anybody would like to share?
Is everybody gonna be shy?
Hello. I tend to have difficulty getting to sleep. I have insomnia, have struggled with it my entire life. And one of the things I found that helped me get in a better, like give me the best success at sleeping and also dreaming and also recalling those dreams is setting a really good sleep routine. Like that in particular has helped me a ton. So I've basically am training my mind to go, oh, I'm doing these things in this particular order at this particular time. Sleeping is going to happen soon. So usually I'll have a cup of tea, I'll do my night skincare, and that sort of starts to put me in the state of, oh, I'm going to start sleeping and I'm going to start dreaming again soon. And that sleep hygiene, exactly, that has helped tons to get me in the right state, not only to sleep, but also to dream. And valerian tea in particular, I actually was recommended this by a witch sister of mine. She swears by the stuff whenever she wants to go night flying. So she'll have a cup maybe about 20 minutes before she goes to bed, and that helps her results as well. So I've been incorporating that, and usually if I don't recall my dreams in a normal night, whenever I have a cup of valerian tea, that helps me have better recall the next day of what's going on in my dreams as well.
That's awesome. Thank you for that pointer, Ray. That was really great. We always love hearing from you, and appreciate your contribution. Thank you. Dominic has something to say. Dominic, do you want to come on the pin? Here, let me
I got it. Once when I was a kid, I had bunk beds, and my brother was on top of the top bunk bed. I was on a small bunk bed. And I had this dream that he was bothering me, so I punched it. And there's no way I could like actually hit him, because when I woke up, he's automatically crying. The covers were on me, and I woke up to him crying. I said to him, "Why are you crying?" He's like, "I didn't mean to bother you, and you didn't have to hit me." And I had the thought that when you dream about someone, do you connect with them at the same time that they're dreaming about you? Like you say, dream extras. Sometimes, if they're real people, could they be the same, sharing a dream?
That's connecting through the astral. The astral is a, you can be astrally projecting when you're sleeping and you're lucid dreaming. You can exit. The lucid dream happens in your mind. Okay. When you go and you connect through, like, dream sharing, okay, is a connection through the astral. It's kind of like a radio antenna. All right. And that's what I was doing with Black Sands project. Okay. Is I was putting the object in a space and connecting through the astral. Okay. And it allowed that thread of energy, and that's called the web of the weird. Okay. And those are energetic links, because your brother, all right, had an energetic, you and him have an energetic connection. So you can affect his dreams by transferring energy back and forth. That's my personal theory. And that's from my experience.
It sounds like a really good theory.
Thank you.
The web of what?
It's called the web of the weird. Okay. It's really simple. We have the physical world, we have the veil between worlds, and we have the spirit world, also known as the astral or the spirit world or the subtle reality. And that membrane, the veil, can be called the ether or the veil or different terms. But you basically have the physical world, the spirit world, and the barrier between those two worlds. And in the spirit world, there are subtle links of energy. Okay, they're called cords or links. Patty, what do they call them in witchcraft? Cords or links? Okay. So in vampirism, we call them links. And everything you touch in the physical world creates a mirror physical reaction in the spirit world, in the astral. Okay. So those are how vampires feed. They pull energy through those links. Okay. It looks like a web of the weird. It's spelled WYRD. Okay. So every interaction you make creates a connection. And those links, when a vampire feeds or gathers energy directly, you need to cut those links or you're going to have a reverse flow of energy. Okay. Every time you have an emotional interaction with someone, or you touch somebody, or you interact with them, the more connections you have, the more interactions you have with them, the more links are created. And that's how life force flows throughout the Gaia, or the basic life force that flows on our planet. So just like in Star Wars, with the Force, living beings generate life force, and they generate the subtle reality. That's a little bit more out of this context of this class, but it's how things connect. Does that answer your question? Or it can overcomplicate things? All right. Dominic. I think he's having some. Okay.
He's not muted.
Dominic, can you hear us? All right.
I think he accidentally direct messaged it to me, but he said he has no sound for some reason.
Oh, okay.
All right, now, Khalees asked about sleep paralysis, which is interesting. Has anybody suffered from sleep paralysis ever? Okay.
I just want to say that the reason I asked is because my partner gets it like multiple times a week, a lot. all the time. And it's just, I've cleansed my house. Nothing's ever happened to me, but I have seen some stuff, but it's just really interesting because I believe that it's kind of has to do with spirits and stuff like that, but he's straight up like, no, it's just, you know, rational. So
Yeah, I tend to think in more rational lines. As far as it being like demons, it's like people that get abducted by UFOs all see the same gray aliens. There is, I think, very much a sense of suggestion there. I'm not discounting all possibilities, but I'm saying that it's such a shared experience with so many people. I think there's a lot of suggestion there. It's like it's because now when I've gotten that same sensation, it's been totally different because of the way I think rationally. And what happens to me is that I forget how to walk. I'm laying there and I forget how to walk. And I'm laying there and I'm saying, I'm going to stuck here. I'm going to die here. They're going to find me days later because I forgot how to walk. I'm thinking about how my life is going to be because I lost the ability to walk. Not a demon, not a spirit holding me down, but because I think in a very sort of rational way, that's how it manifests for me. So, like I said, I'm not discounting everything, but I think that a lot of it has to do with suggestion.
Suggestion can be a powerful dayside experience as well. And that's a very, very good point, Victor. You got to be able to think. A lot of people don't understand that the night side workings mirror the day side. So the suggestion, the science, the psychology, all is valid. Okay. And it's important to be aware that the night side can be valid, or it can be a result of the day side suggestion. Okay. But always put things in science. Always try to experience it from the five senses. The objective reality is what we share. The subjective reality is in our head. Okay. But we perceive the objective reality from the subjective reality. So Victor's points are so on point. And to get a twilight effect, you need to be able to validate it first in the day side and then in the night side to get a twilight effect. Okay. That's really important to be aware of. So have your foundations in the five senses. Have your trust in science. And science can evolve and change as it has. For example, in 1819, air was paranormal. Okay, today air is science. So let's see what happens. But keep your mind in the day side as much as possible. It's so important to be aware of that because otherwise you can lose your mind and go cuckoo. Thank you for sharing that, Victor. Ms. Medusa has serious sleep paralysis issues related to some PTSD 20 years ago. I was a part of the sleep studies and learned from the techniques to help with it. I also learned some kind of lucid dreaming techniques because of this. And lucid dreaming also helps you sleep. Okay, it can be a motivation to rest and get into the sleep. Like Patty's about to go do some lucid dreaming right now, or we're gonna go have mozzarella sticks. Patty, did you get sleep today? Oh no. Well,
Not yet. 2 hours last night.
oh wow.
Full day.
You were at the Cecil Hotel.
All night on the roof.
LA is one of the most haunted towns in the country.
And that hotel is the most haunted hotel in the city. And we opened a Dybbuk box from the Conjuring house.
Oh my God. All right. Well, we're going to have to hear about that after class. So, all right, everyone. I think we've covered a lot today. And I'd like to invite one more person up to share an experience if they do. And then we'd like to, if anybody has any questions or suggestions or ideas or anything to share, okay, we need to wrap this class up because mozzarella sticks are on the way.
I have a question.
Okay.
Has anyone experienced being woken up by someone that they're sleeping next to or sharing a room with because you're dreaming with your eyes open? I've had several people wake me up because my eyes are open and they said I looked like I was dead, and so they kind of shook me awake, but I was really just dreaming. Has anyone had something like that happen to them?
I don't have anything to respond to that with. That's a very good
I've heard
question.
of that happening to other people. That's not happened to me, but I have heard of that happening to other people. And I think it's more common in kids. I don't know why. So I don't know what it is, but you are not the only person that has happened to, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, because back in high school, there was this guy, because I was in marching band for 15 years, and there was this guy, he slept with his eyes open, and he looked like a dead body, but that was just the way he slept. His parents and a couple of his friends tried to see if he could like just shut his eyes instead of just keeping it wide open like a ghost, but that's just the way he slept. So it just might be also just the way you sleep, and that your eyes just are awake at that moment. Your eyes don't shut, and that's completely normal, to put it in the sense.
I mean, don't forget, sleepwalkers walk around with their eyes open. If they didn't, they wouldn't get around very far. So it's definitely something that physically happens to varying degrees.
Wow. I love to hear all of these things. So here's your homework, everyone. Okay. I want you to practice for 1 week, 7 days between now and the next class, astral projection, dream recall, and lucid dreaming. So the technique is this, and here's what you need to do. You need to do your affirmations during the day. I'm going to lucid dream. I'm going to lucid dream, and write it down 5 times, 3 times in the day. Then go to sleep at a reasonable hour, meditate by counting your breaths or focusing on a mantra and repeating it over in your head. Right before you do the mantra or the meditation, say what you're going to dream about. Okay. Come up with, you want to go to the Cecil Hotel with Patty on a ghost hunt. You want to be on stage with Johanna performing. You want to be at the door helping Victor enforce dress code. Okay. You want to get a pair of things from Father Sebastiaan. Okay. There's a whole bunch of things you can do. And next week, when you wake up each morning, try your best to see what results you get in dream recall. But you remember, you got to do it in the first 5 minutes. Okay. 5-10 minutes. You can also put a glass of water near your bed and think of Patty. Okay. And then we will go and we will share our experiences at the end of next week's class. Don't let me forget that. So I want to thank you all for coming tonight. It was a great class. I'm really excited to have this. Thank you, Victor, Patty, Johanna, and all the students that are here. This was really cool. We learned a lot. We shared a lot. And let's go into our big bad boy of vampirism, astral projection, next week. All right, guys, I'm going to send you an email with a link to this class, and it will be on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for coming.